What would happen if you ditched alcohol for good? Could it be the key to unlocking a better, a much stronger body, and a totally new you? Before we get into the changes you might experience in your sobriety journey, here's a quick heads up. Everyone's journey is unique. While we explore some common experiences, it's important to remember that your path may look a little different. And one more thing, never go for it alone. Consulting a professional is key because alcohol withdrawal is a serious business. Together, you can make a safe plan to start cutting back. Also, you will not hear us use the term alcoholic. It's a bit old school. Instead, you'll hear us use the term alcohol use disorder, which exists on a spectrum. So let's get straight into it, shall we? When you decide to quit drinking, you might start noticing some surprising changes in your body and mind. But let's be real, what you experience is going to depend on how much alcohol you've been consuming. Think of it like this: you could have a mild, moderate, or severe AUD, and there's a whole science behind figuring out where you land on that scale. A professional can help you with that. Alcohol is a central nervous system depressant, which means it slows down brain function and alters your body's chemical balance. When you drink regularly, your brain adjusts to the constant presence of alcohol, producing more excitatory neurotransmitters like glutamate to compensate for alcohol's depressant effects. When you suddenly stop drinking, your brain can go into overdrive because it's still cranking out those excitatory chemicals, but now there's no alcohol to balance them out. This is where things get serious, especially within the first 12 to 24 hours after your last drink. Your brain, now in a state of hyperactivity, can trigger something called delirium tremens. This isn't just some mild discomfort. It's a full-blown emergency. You could experience extreme agitation, tremors, seizures, and even vivid hallucinations. Remember we told you to not go for sobriety on your own? Here's why. Without proper medical supervision, delirium tremens can be fatal, but don't let that scare you off. Your doctor can help you create a plan to safely ease your body and brain into sobriety. When you take a sip, alcohol is absorbed in your stomach and small intestine, quickly entering your bloodstream and making a baseline for your brain. Once it gets there, things start to get interesting. Alcohol messes with your brain chemistry by suppressing excitatory neurons and cranking up the activity of inhibitory neurons, which are affected by GABA. Think of it like this. Normally, GABA calms things down in your brain by reducing neuronal activity. So when you drink, you're essentially turning down the volume on your brain's communication, resulting in less excitation thanks to reduced glutamate activity and more inhibition thanks to boosted GABA. That's why alcohol is classified as a depressant. It slows everything down. But here's where it gets a bit tricky. You might feel euphoric after a few drinks, and that's because the increased GABA activity means your brain is processing information more slowly, letting only the strongest signals through. This can make your thoughts seem clearer, almost like the world is slowing down just for you. You start to feel amazed at your simple ideas, which can trigger the release of serotonin, which, as you know, is the feel-good hormone. However, when you decide to stop drinking, that's when the real challenge begins. Without alcohol, your brain is still producing glutamate and GABA, but now the balance is all out of whack. Your brain, which has been accustomed to the dampening effects of alcohol, suddenly finds itself with a glutamate overload and not enough GABA to counteract it. This can leave you feeling jittery, anxious, and craving alcohol to restore that temporary sense of calm and euphoria. This is why many people slip up during their sobriety journey. They want to get better, to bring back that sense of clarity and euphoria that alcohol temporarily provides. But here's the good news: your brain is incredibly adaptable. With time, it can rebalance itself, reducing the excess glutamate and returning GABA levels to normal. Here's the thing about alcohol: while it might feel like a quick fix, it's really just setting you up for a rough ride in the long run. That temporary relief you get, it's like borrowing happiness from tomorrow. Because 2 to 3 days after you quit drinking, your brain starts fighting back. One of the big culprits here is something called corticotropin-releasing hormone, which spikes and leads to a surge of cortisol, the body's main stress hormone. This can leave you feeling on edge, with a loss of appetite and a kind of anxiety. So why does this happen? Well, when you're drinking regularly, you're not just having a good time, you're actually rewiring your brain. Alcohol isn't just messing with your mood, it's physically changing the shape and function of your brain. And when you suddenly cut it out, your brain has to scramble to adjust, like trying to recalibrate a machine that's been running on the wrong settings for years. Research shows that alcohol exposure can literally change the way your genes express themselves in key parts of the brain. We're talking about regions like the prefrontal cortex, which is crucial for decision-making and impulse control, and the nucleus accumbens, a major player in the brain's reward system. These changes aren't just theoretical, they're happening at the cellular level, and they can have a big impact on how your brain functions. Now, here's where things get really tough. Around 3 days after you stop drinking, the part of your brain responsible for dopamine goes into a slump. Its levels drop, making it hard to feel any kind of pleasure or motivation. This is why those first few days of sobriety can feel like a real uphill battle. But here's the good news: your brain is incredibly resilient. With time, it can heal and start to rebuild the neural pathways that have been altered by alcohol. By the end of your first week, you'll start to notice a shift. The intense withdrawal symptoms you've been experiencing will begin to ease. As you hit the 2-week mark, your body is continuing its recovery. If you've still been dealing with physical symptoms beyond the first week, they should be wrapping up by now. However, this is when you might start to feel a bit of a different challenge: fatigue. Your mind is catching up with what your body has been through. Remember, it's all part of the process. 3 weeks into your sobriety journey, you might start noticing that your gut is beginning to heal. But why does this matter? Well, when you were drinking, alcohol wreaked havoc on your gut, leading to a condition known as leaky gut. This occurs when the gut lining becomes more permeable. This disruption can contribute to ongoing depressive symptoms even as you're quitting. Here's the science behind it. Your gut houses a complex microbiome that plays a crucial role in producing neurotransmitters, including serotonin, which helps regulate mood. This process involves an enzyme called tryptophan dehydrogenase, which is key in converting tryptophan, an amino acid, into serotonin. Alcohol disrupts this process by altering the gut microbiome, leading to a drop in serotonin levels and contributing to feelings of depression. So that post-alcohol slump, this is it. But don't lose hope. By the 4 to 8 week mark, your gut will begin to stabilize and you should start to see improvements in your mood. As you progress, you'll also notice changes in your sleep patterns. Initially, alcohol may seem like it helps you fall asleep quickly, but it actually disrupts the quality of your sleep. Alcohol increases alpha waves in the brain, which are typically present during wakefulness, not deep, restorative sleep. This means that even though you fall asleep faster, your brain isn't getting the rest it needs. These issues can take up to 4 weeks to resolve. Research shows that the brain regions involved in sleep are also affected by a UD, with reduced brain activity in these areas. It can take up to 3 months for your brain's gray matter to recover and for your sleep quality to improve significantly. Here's another interesting fact. You might notice your skin is starting to look more vibrant and healthy. You see, alcohol is a notorious dehydrator. It messes with the proteins that normally help your body reabsorb water, so you end up losing more moisture than you're keeping. This can lead to dry, dull skin, and even a decrease in collagen, the protein that keeps your skin firm and youthful. But once you quit drinking, your skin starts to recover. Around 5 to 6 weeks after quitting, you might notice that your skin looks better. And it's not just your skin that's improving. The benefits extend to your brain and overall mental functioning. Research shows that after 6 weeks of sobriety, cognitive abilities like problem-solving, memory, and attention can see significant improvements. Your appetite may shift without the influence of alcohol. You might find yourself craving healthier foods and enjoying a more balanced diet. This can help manage your weight and reduce cravings that often lead to unhealthy eating. Additionally, your risk of serious diseases like cancer, heart disease, and stroke starts to decrease. Beyond the immediate relief and improvements, the long-term benefits are nothing short of transformative. Picture the money you save, from hundreds of dollars each month to thousands over the year. And perhaps most inspiring of all, you're adding years to your life and life to your years, reducing risks and enhancing your health. That is the end of today's video. Make sure to share this with your friends and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content. See you in the next one.